that calling you on the phone? Rings 5 times, but no one's home. Bigfoot, Mothman, ghosts and ghouls. Some say they're fantasy, but we're no fools. It's on the payphone, the Paranormal Payphone. Spooky as it may be, you can talk for eternity. If it's wacky things you saw, just pick up the phone and call the Paranormal Payphone. Ba-ba-ba-da-bum, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-bum, ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da-bum.
Welcome back to Paranormal Payphone. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Steve.
Tonight's episode is a rare one because for the first time, we didn't just receive a single call about something unexplained in the sky. We received 2 separate calls from 2 different people describing strikingly similar UFO encounters. And what makes this especially unsettling is that these experiences didn't happen in the same place or even the same state. One sighting took place in the forests of Oregon in broad daylight, nonetheless. The other happened hundreds of miles south under the night sky in California.
And the thing about these is both of them describe something pretty similar, but also very different. They say it didn't move like a plane. It didn't move necessarily like a drone, like a helicopter, not even like a duck, being in Oregon and all.
Quack, quack.
That's right. They say, if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it's a UFO.
It's a UFO.
That's right. So that's the craziest thing about this is the fact that we have these stories that have been submitted. First off, 2 stories. Bonus call, right?
First time in show history.
That's right. And we get to see the difference between these things. And what's interesting is our previous calls have all been encounters, right? Right. Something that has had an interaction with people. But this is the first time that we just have, I'm going to call it an observance, almost.
They're being watched.
That's right. And if you've ever been watched, not in a creepy way, or maybe in a creepy way, who knows, you can call in to 615-431-9003 or email at paranormalpayphone@gmail.com and submit your stories. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to get it out to the world. And really what happens right now is we have 2 different people, 2 different areas, 2 different times that are going to be able to be connected with this encounter, and it's all because they called. So think of the connections that you can make here. I mean, whether that be through like your experience, possibly a love connection. I'm not here to rule that out. Who am I to play God with love,
Yeah, that's right. Paranormal date game.
Hey, exactly. You never know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah, I like that idea.
But we can share those stories together, and whether or not you want to be as anonymous or anonymous as you want to be, just let us know, and we'll go ahead and take care of all that for you.
Yeah, this kind of experience really fascinates me because there's so many questions about what this truly could be. Is this some otherworldly, beings coming down, checking on us, watching, seeing how crazy we are, or is it like some kind of military?
There is even a small faction of people that think that UFOs could be angelic beings.
That's interesting.
That came down in the Watcher era and are now kind of policing around to make sure we're still doing all right and kind of infiltrate where they can. That's the crazy thing about this is we know so little about it, but it's been around forever.
Yeah.
Ever since, the nuclear testing is really when the first UFO appearances happened. And so from that moment on, they've been a part of our lives. And like only in recent years has the government been like, hey, about those. Yeah, we know there's something. We're not quite sure what, but there is something out there. And just to throw you off, we're going to call them UAPs from now on.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the UFO versus UAP? You got any thoughts on that?
Don't really know what the difference is. It seems like the same thing. Now, in this story, the first story we have with the one in Oregon, the thing that comes to my mind is Howard the Duck. I'm thinking this duck coming in
Yeah.
and crashing. Do you remember that?
Of course, I remember Howard the Duck. He had a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, I think. Possibly even 3, if I remember correctly. Yeah, no, Howard the Duck. Fantastic movie.
And it gets rated as like one of the worst movies of all time. But I loved that movie growing up.
Absolutely. It was right at that right level of what exactly is happening here?
Yeah.
You know? Same thing with, like, we talked about Alf before. Who thought this was a great idea for a show? You know, but they did. They put it out there. Another one that comes to mind, this is something that I'm not sure anyone's really thought of. Do you remember Mork and Mindy?
I do. Ninu.
Ninu.
But that's all I remember. And that Robin Williams
Yeah.
was Mork, right?
100% he was,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So what ended up happening is here comes Mork, alien, comes down, lives with this lady. They end up kind of falling in love throughout the whole thing. And it raises a question here. You know, a lot of the Genesis 6 people are going to think that these aliens could be Nephilim. Was Robin Williams a Nephilim?
Mork, right? Okay. Robin Williams, though, I mean, impressive actor, all the different voices and stuff. He could be an alien, too.
I'm not willing to rule him out.
Yeah.
You know, he could be. He still could be,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I saw Dead Poet Society,
Oh,
you know.
Yeah.
Goodwill Hunting.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs.
I mean, come
Doubtfire. Listen,
It's quality.
Robin Williams, they a lot of the conspiracy people out there always say that a lot of the media that gets put out there is just softening us up for a further blow down the line. Robin Williams may have been a patsy in this whole thing. You never know, you know. There's a lot going on there
With the CIA.
with the CIA.
Yeah.
If MK Ultra turns out to be a genie in the lamp, we know
Yes,
that
it
Robin
is.
Williams was at the bottom of this
Yeah.
one.
Oh, man.
So, what other alien movies and things did you watch growing up?
You know, of course, I've mentioned When Mars Attacks, which was a great one, right?
It's not unusual. Yeah, it's
yeah.
fantastic.
I know you've got E.T. What's the other one that it's kind of a knockoff E.T.?
I don't remember.
There was. I'll have to think about it, but it'll come to me after we record.
As
you
it
know.
does, yeah. What were your thoughts on Independence Day?
It's got Will Smith in it.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Independence Day is like one of my in-laws' favorite movies. Like I remember like my brother-in-law loved that movie. Like no matter what, that was coming on. And it just always made me laugh because it was just like such a crazy, outlandish blockbuster idea. But now I'm seeing all these different UFO sightings and I'm like, you know what? I maybe could hotwire a UFO.
Yeah.
You know? That might be able to that seems like something that I could do.
Who in your family reminds you most of Randy Quaid in that movie?
I don't know. That's a good question right
Yeah.
there. My personal favorite is always going to be the Men in Black.
Oh, yeah.
You know, speaking of, Will Smith
Again,
was hot and heavy into the Alien movies. Like there was something going on there.
which makes you question, what is he?
I 100% could believe that Will Smith is some sort of alien conspiracy.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, for sure.
I've seen Jaden. Like I know what's up.
That's a weird one there.
That is a weird one, right? There's a lot going on there.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this kid or whatever he is.
Yeah.
But it's wild.
I can tell you one thing. Jackie Chan had nothing to do with it in Karate Kid. Like that man, you know, he made one of those movies. He goes, I'm out on Jaden Smith. We don't need to be around anymore.
I refuse to watch that one.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen it. Just because I got such great memories of the first one, the first three. Mm-hmm. I couldn't make myself do it.
Of all the things I know you to do in your life, that's the strangest hard stance I've ever heard.
I'm pretty firm on it.
Like you're like, you know what? That Karate Kid remake?
Yeah.
Out.
There's one Mr. Miyagi. That's
there-
it.
That's it, huh? No Jackie Chan, Mr. Miyagi, huh?
No Jackie Chan Miyagi, son.
Wow. Okay, I wouldn't have thought that would have been the hard line to take.
You know, it's probably a bit much, but
Where does Cobra Kai sit for you then?
I love that.
Yeah, you were big on it.
I'm on board. Giving Johnny Lawrence a little bit more, more time. I
Yeah.
love it.
See, I was 100% in on it until the final episode. Because if you remember when it premiered, it was only on like the YouTube TV, the YouTube Red, I think is what it was. And they released all the episodes on there except for the finale, and you had to pay like $19.99 for a year. And I was like, outrageous. I'll never know how this ends.
Yeah. I was happy though that it moved over to Netflix and
yeah, you would think that I would have picked up at that point, but for some reason that's my hard stance. Is I'm just like, you know what? You tried to charge me $20 back then. Yeah, I'm not doing it now.
Yeah, screw you, Cobra Kai.
Yeah, we're done with that.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old Johnny. I'm never gonna find out what happened to him.
He had a rough go at it.
Did he?
Seemed like Daniel's son really screwed his life up. And there's a theory about the whole Karate Kid thing that maybe Daniel was the bully. Have you seen this?
I have.
Yeah.
It was on an episode of How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
And that's when I first heard of it. But apparently this had been an underground thing brewing for a very long time.
He really screwed Johnny's life up.
He really did.
Stole the girl?
Yeah. That's one thing we don't think about is what happens to these villains, you know? No one talks about all the people that Kung Fu Panda put in jail. Right. That's a rough run you had. Like, you were just trying to do stuff, Think about Will Smith and Men in Black.
Here we're back. Will Smith.
Back to it. Yeah. Think of all those aliens that he deported.
Yeah.
Huh?
Look.
This is too early to get canceled.
Yes, too early in this. Yeah.
We don't.
That silence was uncomfortable. There, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody at home listening all had the same raised eyebrows. Yes. They're like, was Men in Black trying to warn us about this?
What were they trying to tell us? Yeah.
So far we have Robin Williams as an Nephilim.
Yeah.
And
Will Smith's an alien.
Yeah, Will Smith's an alien or an alien deporter. Or one of the two.
I'm not even going to say it.
We're not even going to go there. So, with all that being said, we've got 2 calls coming in talking about different UFO experiences and different things that they've seen. I think this is a great time to jump into our first call.
Oh, I agree. Let's do it.
I am calling in to talk about a UFO experience that I had this year. I was in Oregon with my husband. We were going on a hike, so we were kind of driving out in no man's land, Oregon, and all of a sudden this triangle-shaped object appeared out of the sky, kind of out of nowhere. It was moving very oddly, up and down, back and forth, very quickly. It appeared very quickly, and in the same instance, it kind of disappeared quickly. Thinking it was maybe just a drone or something weird like that. Didn't really think much of it. And then all of a sudden, it reappeared with different colored lights. It was kind of a triangle shape, and it definitely was bigger than a drone. Very oddly shaped, and again, the movement was what was so odd about it. It moved very quickly, up and down, back and forth. Again, disappeared as quickly as it appeared, and again, I can only describe it as a unidentified flying object. This is not the first time that I have had an experience with a UFO. I've also had one in my hometown, but that one was not as odd as an experience as we had when we were out in Oregon. Again, the shape and the lights and the movement of the object definitely was very abnormal.
Okay, Steve, that was our first caller. Pretty wild. I can't imagine seeing something like this. What are your thoughts on that?
What's really interesting is the fact that it happened in broad daylight.
Yeah.
A lot of these encounters happen in the dark woods in the middle of the night. Things are foggy. And this is a broad daylight encounter, where she observed something, a giant triangle ship floating around. So one of the things I thought was interesting is the time, but also the location. One thing is that area, that Pacific Northwest area, Washington actually has the largest amount of UFO sightings.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's something crazy. And then they also had the very first UFO sighting. It happened around Mount Rainier in like 1942 or something like that.
That's what I was going to ask. When?
And so the fact that she saw that in broad daylight is so cool. And they were able to see that. I did do a little bit of research. I know we try not to. But the Columbia River Gorge in Oregon is actually a hot spot.
Really?
For these triangle ships.
I wonder if that's where she was.
I mean, that might be right around there, but that is actually a known hot spot. And like as much as like 2024, there was multiple like commercial pilots spotted things, so much so that it had to get reported to the FAA and the traffic collision avoidance system because there were so many flying in that area.
That's interesting, man. It's also terrifying if you're flying a plane. Could you imagine looking out the window, you're 35,000 feet and you see something like this lady was describing, just darting all over the place, following, or just seeing it, period. I would freak out.
Listen, I don't even like seeing a smart car come up to me on the highway. Like, can you imagine a UFO? Like, have you ever had that happen, like, where, like, a motorcycle comes up to you just a little too quick, and you're kind of, like, that halfway zoned out driving, and all of a sudden a dude doing 120 comes past you, and you're like, what was that,
Yeah.
Can you imagine a UFO flying past you like that?
I actually had an experience just last night, which is interesting that you say that. Not a UFO, but I'm coming down the interstate, and I look up, and I see these two gigantic eyes, and they're like blinking at me. And it was a tractor trailer, but it had like some LED lights across the top of it, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. We were coming down a hill, and this thing, it frightened the crap out of me.
What do you think this is? Radiator Springs? Like, what is this, Cars?
It's
like, I don't
maximum
need this.
Overdrive. I mean, that's what went to my head. Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
With the big green face?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. That was a radiation UFO, something otherworldly too, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But my mind went to Cars because I've got little kids. So I like all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, here comes, Lightning McQueen coming at me. That's the last thing.
Oh, Tater's coming?
I don't even listen. Oh, Tomater come at you.
Tomater, that's what it is, not Tater.
Oh, Tomater come at you.
Yeah.
There is actually another theory online. I don't know if you ever heard this, that he's actually the villain.
Really?
Yeah. Because think of all these like broke down abandoned cars that he just like took and buried in his yard. Yeah. If every car has like a life and is running around and he's just dragging dead bodies back to his house.
Yeah, so he's a serial killer.
Don't let Larry the Cable Guy fool you. Like, that man is up to some shady business.
Yes, he is.
But you see this
get her done.
But you see this ship flying around.
Yeah.
And moving in a way that can't be described, can't be explained, and just like darting off out of the middle of nowhere. Like, there's stories about this all over the place. The interesting thing about it is a lot of this phenomena gets reported 2, 3, 4, 7 times because so many people see it. But the fact that they're not able to connect over it because it just goes nowhere, which is why calling a number like 615-431-9003 and telling us about what you saw is such a great idea.
And I think interesting too, Steve, that she said that it could be a drone, could be, she wasn't really sure what it was, but in broad daylight, I think you would be able to tell. And then the erratic movements on it, I know drones can move erratically, but not like this lady was describing.
The way she was describing it moving doesn't seem like there was anything that was there. And she also didn't describe anything like propellers or any sort of propulsion source. So it really makes you think like, okay, so here this thing is moving kind of erratically, smoothly but erratically without any sort of propulsion source pushing it. And next thing you know, it's gone.
Gone. Just disappears.
Crazy. couple that with the fact that it's in an area of the country that has a crazy amount of sightings.
Yeah.
It could be an area of the state that is known for a hot spot for those types of sightings. Looks like a duck, sounds like a duck.
Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. Sounds like a UAP, UFO to me.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, it sounds like something. I would like to ask her, okay, so if you know, maybe she didn't know, like this was a hot spot for these things, why do you go in there? Why do you go hike in those woods?
That is a great question. But think about it. Like, without some place where you could go and hear these stories, you're never going to know that type of stuff.
Exactly.
That's
good.
It's like the first time you went and got like an energy drink out of the gas station. Like, you didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, your eyes are open for the first time. You're seeing sounds. Like, your life is so good.
You're addicted.
I
have an issue with gas stations. I'm a gas station junkie.
You're a gas station junkie, huh?
Apparently.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your go-to?
As far as what? I like finding I don't like the newer, bright and shiny gas stations. I like the old,
yeah,
the country road gas stations
Now
that
you're
have
talking.
the grills in them and they stink just ridiculously like food and grease.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a funk when you walk in.
Like they look haunted.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
There's a calendar on the wall that is definitely not for this year.
Yeah, it's like from the mid 1900s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the thing is like, do you have specialties from each one? Like, I know that like I prefer like the apple fritter at the Twice Daily as compared to like, this over here at the 7-Eleven. Like, do you have like things that like you go to one specifically for?
Yeah, like a good sausage biscuit. Now, you can get those at a lot of these places, but there's a couple. I go specifically. There's 2 spots that I would go to get the good sausage.
So you're trusting gas station cooks with your sausage.
Unfortunately. Maybe that's why I have acid reflux.
You know what? I'm not a doctor, but I feel like we can, we talk about a lot of times that if you're looking for answers, this is not the right place. I feel confident that I could say this is the right place to get that answer. Yes, that is where your acid reflux comes from.
I'm trying to do better.
Yeah.
I realized that I was going way too much. So 2026, the year I'm not breaking that cycle completely, but I'm cutting it down to 1 or 2 days a week now.
This may be a little inside baseball. I feel like you may have already failed that today.
Yes.
So,
As you have seen.
It's like 2026 coming in hot, not starting off great,
I was like, I'm not going to cuss this year. 5 minutes in, it happens.
Yeah, it's over already.
We'll start the diet tomorrow.
That's the problem with like New Year's and things like that is they always start like on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or a Thursday. And you're just like, you know what? New year, new me. I mean, not on the weekend, of course. Like, we're going to wait for it to be on Monday. And then, and then I got that party coming up, for that delayed Christmas. So, like, February is a fantastic starting point, I feel like. Yeah.
January is kind of like your hangover month. I feel like you're coming off all the holiday food and, all those activities, busy season. And, of course, I absolutely hate the month of January, but that's for different reasons. So maybe February 1st, New Year.
February 1st, I like it. I know I was already getting hit up for what people would like for Valentine's Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So everyone's already got their box of chocolate picked out that they would like. So that is already going to be phenomenal. We are running through. If anyone goes through and buys out all of them, I'm coming for you. All right. I've got very specific marching orders, but I just don't trust. For some reason, I trust that candy to sit on the shelf for the remainder of the month.
Yeah.
But in my house, it feels like that's going to go bad. I know it's going to sit on that shelf for like the next 6 weeks, and that's good. But the minute it comes to my house, it's got to be eaten instantly.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You've got to eat it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about, like, the pancake mix on the shelf, it's like, no, man, we got to get that thing taken care of right now. Even though I know it's been there for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's going to go bad the minute it hits my cabinet.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. At least that's the way my kids eat them. Like, there is no shelf life in my house.
You've got a lot of mouths in your house, though.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing: you shouldn't go through a bag of apples in like a day and a half.
You weren't like that as a little kid. Your mom comes home from the grocery store and it's like, oh, it's something new. We've had some of these things over here and they've, gotten rotten. But we got a fresh batch coming in, so you've got to scarf those down.
See, I was a child of like that like 80s to 90s era where there was not a whole lot of apples being eaten. So that wasn't quite the concern. Preservatives were pretty heavy rolling around,
They were.
I was were you ever a Snack Wells person? Like did that ever hit you?
Like the chocolate ones?
Like
that had the marshmallow? Or is that the ones you're talking about?
Do you remember like the fat-free revolution?
Yes, that's
that's
what
all
I'm
of a
talking
sudden,
about, yeah.
all of a sudden everyone became concerned with that. Like that hit our house pretty hard. And so I don't even know how much of that is still living in my intestine right now because it's like none of that's coming out.
Oh, speaking of that, I saw these guys talking about Oreos.
Yeah.
And they were trying to burn them with a blowtorch. And they were saying there's some study. Now I didn't research. I'm coming into this thing unprepared as usual.
As you should.
Yes. But they were saying that every time you eat an Oreo, your body doesn't dissolve it. That Oreo stays inside of you. So how many Oreos have you eaten in your entire life that they're probably still inside of you?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I had 3 yesterday that are now
just 3?
They're just in there.
Was this an on the go grab or?
This was like as you're walking by the bag.
Yeah.
It was one of those because when you pull back that seal, it never seals quite the right way.
It doesn't. You got to eat them.
You got to, And then the next thing you know, you're kind of not putting that seal all the way down, so you kind of get the 2-finger in. Yeah.
I've got big hands. I'll just go by and it's like I grab the whole middle sleeve almost.
All I know is I grabbed 1, grabbed 2, open it up. Looked at grabbing a third, and I was like, these animals have eaten every single one of these Oreos. If I don't get mine,
yeah,
if I don't get mine now, I'm not going to get any.
Boy, you better get yours.
That's right. Speaking of getting ours, let's go to that second call.
Yes, sir.
So back in 2015, my wife and I were on a date with another couple, and we were driving back to their house in Lincoln, California. When we were driving back, we saw something in the sky that didn't look like a plane or a helicopter or anything like that. It was just moving weird, and it had a red light. But then the red light turned to green, and it turned to yellow. And like I said, it wasn't flying like a plane. It wasn't flying like a helicopter. It would kind of stay in one spot and then move, stay in another spot and move. But the directions were kind of erratic, so it was really weird. Now, we started to kind of follow it as it was flying over Lincoln, California, and it would change colors, and it seemed to just be moving not super high up in the sky, maybe a couple hundred yards up in the air, and it would change colors and then move, and change colors and then move. Wasn't anything abduction or really weird about it, but just the way it was moving and how it was changing colors made me know it wasn't an airplane or a helicopter or anything like that. Now, we were about 15 miles south of Beale Air Force Base, and I know up there they probably have some drone programs and weird stuff going on there. So chances are it could have just been some kind of government drone or Air Force kind of aircraft that I don't know about. But it definitely was weird, and it definitely was something you don't see every day. I spent a lot of time in Lincoln and never saw anything like that ever again. It was just that one night back in 2015.
All right, Steve, that was caller 2. One thing I thought was interesting, there's a lot of the same erratic behavior being described, the changing lights, and this one was at night. What are your thoughts?
Totally cool. And the fact that he was able to see those lights and the fact that it was in location around a military base. They say that the first time UFOs started appearing was after we did our atomic bomb testing. Is there are reports of different crafts flying around nuclear bases and military installations. I've even heard some stuff about lights randomly shutting off at those bases. So the fact that he is able to see this, it could mean either it was some sort of drone program, or there was some sort of UFO, alien, angel craft keeping tabs on what we're doing.
It seems like California, first off, West Coast seemed like a hot spot, a hotbed for things, UAPs. We'll call them UAPs.
Yeah.
But in 2024 up through mid-year, there was like over 16,000 sightings in California that were reported already.
That's crazy.
That's a large number, dude.
That's a lot. 16,000 is a lot of anything.
I do want to say something about this one that kind of irritated me a little bit. I don't know if this is the OCD coming out or what, but we started with a red light, and then we went to green, and then yellow. That's not how it flows, dude.
No, I mean,
it's red, green, yellow, red. Right?
I mean, he could have also maybe had a little bit too much partying, and that was just the stoplights he was seeing in the back
it could
seat.
have been.
I mean,
he did say he was on a double date there.
You never know. He could have been experiencing some high technology stoplights that were
just floating around. Yeah,
just floating around.
Just floating about 20 feet off the ground. No.
And then a green arrow appeared.
Yes. And then it started flashing yellow.
Yeah.
No, we're goofing a little bit, but I do wonder, being that close to an Air Force base, if there was some kind of drone technology involved in this.
Yeah, well, I mean, you think about, like, if anyone has ever had any time in the conspiracy world, you've heard about Bob Lazar, who's come out and talked about reverse engineering alien craft that had been in, like, Los Alamos, I believe is where he worked out of. So you think about a lot of these drone sightings, a lot of the things that people report, there's a good chance that, yes, it is something government-based, but it could be based off of different things that we have discovered and uncovered throughout the years.
Yeah, it makes me question, like, have we had alien technology for so much longer, from, like you were talking, like around the atomic bomb testing days, that they had technology then that's so, like, superiorly advanced to even today's terms.
Well, so a lot of that people talk about and discover is the fact that we went from stuff like the first telephone and, like, sending Morse code messages to the invention of resistors and fiber optics. I mean, it's like within a 3-year span of that atomic bomb testing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So it makes you think, okay, here all of a sudden we go from, people that talk like this to now we have, underground wires connecting the entire world in a matter of a few years.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then you fast forward just a couple, few years after that, we're calling the moon from a landline.
Yeah. And, like, have you ever seen those time things where it's like Eminem and Picasso were alive at the same time?
I've never seen that one.
It freaks you out, right?
Yeah.
Because you think like how quickly, how quickly a lot of this stuff happens. And, like, you're just like, wait a second, what do you mean this stuff happens so quickly? We went from a guy who barely invented a light bulb to all of a sudden we're putting a guy on the moon within,
allegedly,
15 years, allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My question to you, so with all these occurrences happening, a lot on the West Coast line, and then, like, we had, like, all that stuff that happened a few years ago in New Jersey on that. Like, do you think that this is like East Coast, West Coast beef like they had in the 90s?
Pac and Biggie right now?
Are there Pac and Biggie aliens running around right now?
It could be.
Like, can you imagine, like, that triangle coming over with that first caller just blaring California Love? Like,
that would have made that a lot cooler. Great call, great experience. Anyways, but blasting a little Tupac and Dr. Dre.
yeah, just a red bandana hanging off the back
Oh,
of it.
you just hear that bass thumping, rattling.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's
Sounds
great.
like a '93 Altima.
Yeah. Oh,
Can you imagine?
great, Steve.
But like, I wonder. It makes you wonder. Like, do they have like different dominion
Yeah.
over different things? I
Or
mean,
beef.
or beef.
Intergalactic beef.
Intergalactic beef.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, just blaring over like, okay, nah, man, Kansas is my territory.
It's like the Bloods and the Crips.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We watch a lot of those like NCIS, FBI type shows, and so there's a lot of those gang wars in there. And I could just imagine a couple aliens floating around right now. Like, nah, man. I pick up at 72nd Street. Like, the Gorge Valley in Oregon, that's my home. That's my turf. That's
Yeah.
right. Now, one thing we haven't talked about, and I hope that we get a call about this at 615-431-9003 or at paranormalpayphone@gmail.com, is we talked about a lot of them go in and out of the water.
Yeah.
In the water, that's a place that I'd like to see.
Oh, I think if they're real, now I'm not saying what they are, I think they're for sure in the water, in the ocean somewhere. There's so much that's not been explored.
Yeah.
I have so many questions about the ocean.
I have so many questions about you know what? And I didn't get enough answers out of Waterworld to really satisfy me, I've just been peeing in my Mr. Coffee for years.
Just gonna say, but you drinking your pee.
Yeah.
Well, Leota Machida was doing that too, so.
You never know.
Did he get that from Waterworld?
Where else did you get it from?
Yeah,
right.
right.
Let's be like, no one looked at a
Knew
coffee
those
maker
Brazilians
and went,
stole that. Yeah. Yeah.
thought a bus was a horse,
Yeah. Oh boy.
But-
so, your thoughts on this? Summarize it. What do you think these are?
I don't know. I think that there is a good chance that it could be some sort of angelic interdimensional being traveling around, or former angelic. I don't want to know that I want to use the term demonic because I don't have necessarily a full enough understanding because a lot of them could be how they get transported around. I think it could be that. I think there's a good chance that it could be something visiting. I think that the universe is a very vast, large place. And to think that we're the only ones out there, it's an interesting thought. But I am pro interdimensional. Like, this is something out of a different dimension. What about you? What are you going with?
The only image I have in my head right now is the reverse bandanas tied in the knot over the forehead with these guys just creeping around, spying on everybody. I mean, I think it's very arrogant to believe that we're the only ones here.
Yeah.
And so whether it's advanced government technology or if it is otherworldly visitors, there's something going on.
I think there's definitely a chance that it is some sort of government technology, but definitely some sort of interdimensional, like whether that be from, the angels that have fallen and come down, some sort of being traveling around outside of our realm of frequency, and we just get little glimpses when they make themselves known. I think that's my favorite. I think that's the most fun.
So, just to recall, I remembered the E.T. movie, or E.T. knockoff, Mac and Me.
Mac and Me. Yes, I do remember Mac and Me.
Yeah, so sorry to get us off topic there. That just came back. That's how my brain works.
Listen, I'm glad you got there.
Yeah.
That really kind of put a bow on everything that we're doing here today.
It did. An upside down do-rag bow.
That's right.
That's right. So, appreciate it. It's been a great show again, Steve. And so, until next time, who are you going to call?
That's Paranormal Payphone.
Who's that calling you on the phone? Rings 5 times, but no one's home. Bigfoot, Mothman, ghosts and ghouls. Some say they're fantasy, but we're no fools. They've slung a payphone, the Paranormal Payphone. can talk for eternity. If it's wacky things